Darren Tuttle here. It's storm season in Oklahoma, and with that comes torrential rain, high winds, and hail. To protect your home and your family from these threats, the one roofing company you should trust is Ferguson Roof Systems. They've been providing the best in roofing services for nearly half a century. Ferguson is Oklahoma's full-service roofing company, certified with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and a 5-star rating on Google. And with Ferguson now offering Class 4 impact-resistant shingles, now is the time to trust them with your home's roof. Get started today at FergusonRoofSystems.com.
Hey there, Meteorologist Darren Tuttle back with you again. It is, let's see what time, about 7 minutes until noon. So this is your lunchtime weather update for your Thursday. We're going to talk about Saturday. I'm getting a lot of questions now, so I figured, all right, might as well address it. We'll address the elephant in the room. Are we going to see severe weather on Saturday? So that's what we're going to focus on here for today. I give a little, of course, a little touch on today and tomorrow as well. All right, by the way, good to see you guys on YouTube checking in all over from Oklahoma. We got Bethany, we got Bartlesville, we got Mustang, we got Moore, we got Norman. You guys come in from all over the place, so always welcome. Good to see you guys on Rumble as well, and on Facebook, you know the deal. By the way, you can opt in to get notified when I go live through these instant weather updates, so through your messenger. So if you're having trouble getting notified from Facebook, you can always check that option, and then I can send you a message to let you know. By the way, thank you for the stars. I see you, David, so I appreciate you here for this lunchtime. Sending me some love in that fashion. Always please like and share this video as we speak. Just hit the share button or hit the like button. That way the algorithms know that you're interested in the content. And that way we can continue to spread the good news, the good word out there across the Oklahoma City and surrounding areas. All right, Casey, also thank you for the stars. Appreciate it. Hope the home buying process is going great for you guys up there in Stillwater. Michael, good to see you. Thank you very much. So I'll tell you what, you guys can get rolling in. I see you, Robert. Thanks, sir. Newcastle's in the house. I see Red Oak is in the house. So, all right. You guys, again, checking in from all over the place. So what's going on out there for right now? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. We've got plenty of sunshine out there for you. Look at that. Almost clear blue skies from my vantage point looking out to the west. You can barely see some of that hazy white stuff in the background. Thank goodness we don't have that New York City weather. Have you guys seen some photos from New York City yesterday? It is disgusting. The skyline is all orange and dark from all the smoke from the fires in Canada. So a bad idea. Bad deal, I should say, going up there across Canada, and that weather pattern's been shoving some of that smoke down south and east into the northeastern part of the country, even a little bit toward our direction, but we really haven't had much to deal with. You can still see some pretty clear skies out there. If we do look at the satellite viewpoint, we do have some clouds bubbling up here in southwest Oklahoma, so this is probably the first area we'll see some disturbed weather in the form of some showers and thunderstorms that bubble up. But also, as usual is par for the case, we'll have things that'll pop up just randomly in different areas for the afternoon. These are a no rhyme, no reason type of an event. This is almost like living in Florida. It's just random daytime stuff that pops up during the afternoon and evening, sometimes in the morning. Sometimes it's overnight, and it's very difficult. I should say it's impossible to tell you exactly where and when, which is not usual. We're able to tell where and when, and the focus for things. In this particular case, it's random. It's just a pure probability random spread. But you can see some of the highlighting here from some orographic lifting in southeast Oklahoma, and then there's some enhanced Q up here northwest. So we got to see those Q bubble up first. That is usually where you start to get your first showers and thunderstorms that try to develop later on as more heat comes in there. Speaking of heat, we've got some 80s across the eastern half of the state. Still some 70s barely hanging on across the west and southwestern part of Oklahoma. Winds haven't really been that much of a factor most of this spring. Can you believe it? We've gone through a spring without it just being ridiculous wind out there. They always say Chicago's a windy city. Oklahoma City's the windy city, and Oklahoma's a windy state. Rainfall the last 4 days. You see those little pockets here where you get some dark greens to yellow? That's up around 3 to 4 inches on the scale. So some areas, starting from Monday to today, has gotten some really good rainfall. But you can see how sparse it is. You see how these areas here in white? Nothing, in hit and miss areas of Oklahoma. So, it's one of those deals we can't all be guaranteed rainfall, but those that do, it's feast or famine, right? Well, as far as severe weather is concerned, Again, not much really talk about the next couple of days. The work week, because of the lack of shear, has been pretty quiet. I talked about that in a post the other day. But if we look on Saturday, all of a sudden, what is this big yellow thing from the Storm Prediction Center? Are we going to have severe weather back across Oklahoma? Well, let's take a look. First off, for today, like I mentioned, these little pop-up isolated showers and some thunderstorms. Worst case on those deals you can get is a collapsing storm for a downdraft, which would be called like a microburst. And sometimes those winds can exceed severe weather criteria as far as the winds, excess of 58 miles per hour. But most of the time, the storms behave. You get a little brief heavy rain, some lightning, occasional small hail, and occasional little gust of wind, but nothing big. So the microburst is pretty much the worst thing in this pattern. Now, if we do look, though, as we focus on into Saturday, let's take a look at what's going to happen. Okay, so Friday, again, another day of some pop-up showers and thunderstorms. The models never do well on the output of this stuff. So in other words, it has to stay mostly dry. It'll be like the last few days. They're kind of hit and miss all over the place. But as we head into Friday evening, look what happens out here in the Panhandle region, Kansas. Watch this little spot here. As we go through Friday evening into Saturday morning, overnight, we will continue to see new development as a shortwave trough kicks through. It's an upper level disturbance, moves into this area, and that will help to ignite some elevated showers and thunderstorms here from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 a.m. on Saturday. So this big long line should be a nice squall line. We'll call it an MCS, which stands for Mesoscale Convective System, and that will roll through from northwest to southeast during our Saturday morning and bring us some pretty decent rainfall. Yeah, we probably get a little bit of wind out of it for sure. Gusts usually in these cases up around 50 miles per hour. You might get occasional gust up to around severe weather criteria. And the timing might be off by just a couple of hours. Right now the models are estimating right about daybreak that they'll roll through greater Oklahoma City metro area and just after that in Tulsa. But you can see how they move from the morning to mid-morning to lunchtime down across the Red River Valley, heading on down toward North Texas and northeastern Texas. And then look what happens across the western part of Oklahoma and central Oklahoma. We clear out for the afternoon. All the storms are long gone. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Where are the storms? Right? Are we supposed to have some more severe weather on Saturday? Again, this right here, back it up, because of the timing, will probably mess up the afternoon that we will not be able to recover for Saturday afternoon. So as long as that happens, we had a really good meaty squall line in the morning hours up through late morning to noon that moves through the state. It'll stabilize the atmosphere for the rest of the day, and we'll have a almost impossible conditions to get thunderstorms to redevelop. That means we would not see any more severe weather. And that also means because the storms are coming in the morning, they don't have nearly as much of a bite to them as they would had they come in, say, during the afternoon or evening. So let's take a look at the shear profile, for example. Let's see. Let's go to Saturday morning before that storms arrive. Okay, let's back it up here to like 5 a.m. All right, so here's Oklahoma City. Now, normally, we have a little bit of shear, looks like, in the atmosphere. Looks like the vectors here are kind of what we look for severe weather for rotating thunderstorms. So let's take a plot sounding for that and take a look to see what it really looks like. All right, so now we do have a little bit of directional shear. In other words, the winds are the southeast of the surface and they turn to the southwest and go to the west out ahead of that line. All right, so that is one thing that we do have working in our favor for severe weather. However, the other things we don't have, these winds are 5 knots. 5 knots, 5 knots. This is pathetic. So you don't get a lot of severe weather when you have winds this light. Directional shear is great, but you have to have speed shear to go with it, so we don't have the other half of the equation. Now, what you can have in a squall line like that, like I mentioned, sometimes you can get some gusty winds in little pockets in excess of 60 miles per hour. But the one thing we might be able to squeeze out of it is significant hail. Now, the hail algorithms are going up around baseball-size hail. Now, from my recollection, don't recall ever seeing a baseball-size hail-making thunderstorm at 6 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not too concerned about this. Maybe golf balls at most. So I wouldn't get too excited about the analogs with this as far as what the atmosphere may produce. Now maybe down here in southeast Oklahoma where they have a little bit more of that instability to work with for late morning to noon, possibly there's some better hail in southeast Oklahoma versus say central. So that would be my take as of now looking at the data. Winds, by the way, continue to be light today. Let's take a look at them here from the south. And then we head into, let's go to Friday, southeasterly wind on the light side. And then here is that gust of wind that comes through with the system itself that rolls through out of the north wind. And you can see on Saturday afternoon, we go to a northeaster breeze and then an easterly wind in the mid-afternoon. And then we try to return to a southeast wind here by 4 o'clock. Now, there's no surface boundaries here in the data, in the wind field data from the models, but, if there's any type of boundary at all and we were happen to recover, there would be, a few storms around if there's any boundaries, if we can recover, and both of those are huge ifs. And right now, based off of this data, I would side with things being a little bit more on the quiet side. All right, as far as wind gusts go, we could take a look to see what the models think may be the strongest winds. And in here, let's see, as they go through Oklahoma City, there's close to 50. These little darker red areas, I should say brighter red areas. Let's see, there's 50 right there, say, for example, in Norman. Here's one down here around Chickasha, 55. So it kind of gives you an idea. Down here in southern Oklahoma, I see a little yellow, so it's up around 61. Now remember, 58 is the cutoff, the threshold for a severe thunderstorm wind. Here's 61 down here south of Ada. So there will be probably pockets of some wind within this line there at noontime. Matter of fact, look at this. There's noontime. 83 mile per hour wind gusts. So a little bit better instability to work with down here in southeast Oklahoma for both the wind and the hail potential. So if you're watching down there for severe weather, that is probably where you're going to get the best action as far as severe storms go. All right, and that again would be in the late morning to around lunchtime hour. All right, on Saturday. If we look at the rainfall amounts, should this line form like the models indicate, some really decent rainfall out of it. So we'll pick up about a quick inch of rain here across most of Oklahoma City metro area and points out west. You might get some pockets in here a little bit heavier. This, of course, accumulates with today and tomorrow, should any of these little thunderstorms pop up, which the models just randomly put on the map. But bottom line is we're going to continue to get some more decent rain out of all of this. All right, so temperature-wise, let's take a look at that. We're going to start to get a little bit warmer. You haven't noticed, it's been creeping up on us the last few days. So we're into the 80s to around 90 in some areas for this afternoon. So there you go. A lot more sunshine, a lot less thunderstorm activity than we've had the last couple of days, although there'll still be some out there. And then on Friday, let's take a look at that in the afternoon. Repeat, some 80s, some low 90s, starting to get a little toasty down here in southwest Oklahoma. There's some mid-90s. All right, on Saturday, look what happens here. See how the temperatures are cooler up there in northwest Oklahoma? See that big cool wave comes in? Look at our temperature in Oklahoma City. We drop. Man, we're in the 60s. You can't get severe storms when you're in the 60s. Now, we do try to rebound a little bit. Let's see what happens. So we're at 76. Not going to do it. 79, that's probably not going to do it either. Maybe 80. So that's what I'm saying. It'll be a tough time to get thunderstorms redevelop in this area because we should be pretty stable. Temperatures will be a lot cooler. And it should end up being a pretty decent Saturday once these thunderstorms move through Saturday morning. So if you have some pool time, lake time, all that kind of stuff in the afternoon for Saturday across Oklahoma, we're looking a lot better. Just kind of let you know. And then on Sunday, temperatures will once again be back into the upper 80s to right around 90. Can't rule out, some isolated thunderstorms with a little better shear around on Sunday. You could probably get a little bit more reports of some hail and wind. So in other words, any thunderstorm that does develop would probably have a little stronger wind and hail with it than we've seen the last several days around here, or last couple of weeks, I should say. So keep that in mind if you are going to be out and about over the weekend for any lake or pool activities. Use my weather app, AT's Weather to Go. It is free. Apple, Google Play. It will alert you if lightning is in the area or if there is a danger storm approaching. All right, so here's a look at temperatures over the next several days, back into the 80s to around 90. Exception on Monday, quite a bit cooler. Look at that. And as we head on into after that period, into next week, we start to warm up back in the mid-90s. Look at that, 94 degrees. Woo! Next Friday and Saturday. Now, I talked about this in my blog, which if you missed it, you didn't get to see the entire week outlook and a sneak preview of what was to come. But the bottom line is, one of the models had produced a nice big fat upper level ridge developing across New Mexico and influencing Oklahoma toward the middle to third week of June, which would crank up the heat. So I know somebody asked me, we're going to be in the 40s and 50s. There was some weather guy had proclaimed such a thing. And I was like, started laughing. I was like, it's June, man. But sure. So I don't know. I didn't look beyond that big ridge building in. After I saw that, I just tuned out. I was like, ain't nobody got time for a big ridge around here. That usually shuts down the rain with the exception of some northwest flow events, which can still happen in that environment. So fingers crossed we'll still get some rain with that, but we are going to get a little heat with that as well. But hey, you know what? It's summer, right? Right on cue. June, you got to warm up. Can't stay cool around here forever. So we were spoiled for May with the lack of a lot of severe weather and a lot more rainfall. And then we've been spoiled so far in the first week of June. So we can't be spoiled forever. It's just the way it goes. All right, so listen, that is what I have here for you for your lunchtime live. So hopefully this will get you through your weekend plans and what you can expect here for the next few days. And then I'll do another blog on Sunday. I usually post them in the afternoon, but sometimes I do. I'm going to let you a little secret. It's not every Sunday, but some Sundays, there's a few of us that hang out, and we call it New Brew Sunday. And so a buddy of mine at his pool, we all go get together. And the dudes have to bring something new from the liquor store. And not alcohol, right? I mean, not liquor in that aspect. In other words, like a beer, like a new brew. So in other words, microbrewery. So you have to pick up something nobody's had from some new brewery that's either got shipped in or local or whatever. And we all do we pass around like a taster, right? And then we have like that beer app you can get onto. And so we taste it out and we go, do you like it, whatever. And so it's a dude thing to do. It's a guy thing for sure. But it's fun, a little something different. But we call it New Brew Sunday. So sometimes I'm doing that. I won't do the Sunday blog until I get back, or it has to be the next day on Monday. But normally outside of that, I usually try to get it done on Sunday sometime in the afternoon. That way you've got the whole blog for the week. But you can always use my weather app, AT's Weather to Go. It lets you know what's going on with the weather day to day. And honestly, guys, I'm going to let you know a little secret. I was thinking about this the other day. By the way, I'm going to post this link again on my Facebook page. So if you're not getting notified when I go live on time, click that link I just posted, and you can sign up to do that. Okay, so here's a little secret I was going to tell you. In the old days, in old days meaning not long ago, we're talking 10 years ago or plus, you didn't get a chance to have... dog's getting a little excited. You didn't even have a chance to have a radar at your fingertips. You had to turn on the local news. If the weather guy was on to show you the radar picture and to show you there was a storm coming. All right, those were the olden days. Usually if he did, it means it was something big was coming, right? Or it's a heads up kind of a deal. It's through commercial breaks. Or sometimes the TV station would put a radar on a dedicated feed, like a TV channel feed, like a secondary feed. That was big time, Or you had the Weather Channel, and every 8 minutes or something like that, you'd have to wait for the radar to show up. Well, those days are gone. So if you're old enough to know, that's what it was used to like. If you're new, you're like, what are you talking about, Beavis? Well, in that case, it's all on the palm of your fingertips with your phone, right? So what I'm telling you is, because of the weather apps out there like mine, you don't need anyone, including me, to tell you what the daily forecast is as far as winds are concerned, temperatures are concerned, cloud cover, or rain, or even the fact that it's raining, coming toward your pool or not. Because like my app will tell you an arrow, it'll give you a direction, it'll give you a time of arrival. So in other words, you do your own storm track. It'll tell you what's in the storm, if it's got hail in it, if it's got wind, if it's got a tornado in it. I mean, come on, right? A lot of this is automated. So you've pretty much eradicated the need for any TV weather guy at all. They don't want to hear this. But their job is obsolete. So this is why kind of social media is kind of cool, because it kind of fills in that gap. So where, like me, for example, like my role would be, other than to provide you all that service, and I do it for free for you, but so it's in weather, it's usually no charge, right? You get your information from anywhere and it's always free. So that's great for you guys. Not so good for me, but it's great for you guys. But the other side of that, where I actually do fill the niche, the void, the need would be whenever we do have a threat of severe storms, or there is tornadoes, and you want to cover those, you need a meteorologist to interpret the radar data for you, to tell you if it's something really to be concerned about, and then the exact location and all that kind of stuff. Now, eventually, I think even that will get phased out. In other words, I think I will be phased out. Give it about another, 20 years probably. And by then, I'm long retired. But I think right about that time, you won't even need me to do what I do for you now. In other words, it'll be all so automated. AI, I know everybody hates that word AI. They're freaking out about it. I had one person unfollow me and throw hate at me because I use the term AI. I'm like, get over it. I mean, don't get mad, don't shoot the messenger. So yeah, it's coming whether you like it or not, or get angry with it or not. But we can be used for good as far as what we're going to do here for the weather community. So look for that stuff to improve to the point to where you don't need a human for 99% of that stuff. So then really the only thing left would be interaction. Human interaction. Like you want to actually, I want to talk to a human. I want to see a human. That's where that's going to feed. That's the only thing I can feel for you at that point. So I think that's where we're going, and I think we'll get there in the next 20 years. But until then, just let you know that today's day and age, palm of your hand, use my weather app, AT's Weather to Go. You can always get radar notifications, lightning's coming, storms coming, so you can never need to be taken off guard when it comes to a pool or a party or a lake event. There's no excuse anymore. It means zero, nada, none. So don't put yourself in that situation. Be smart about it. And then when it comes to the fact, are we going to get storms over a certain day period? Are they going to be severe? Are they going to be tornadic? What are we looking at? Then come to me and I'll fill you in on all that detail like I've always done. And then if it turns out there'll be a situation we do have tornadoes, for sure, tune in for that as well. So I'm kind of giving you an idea on the back end story of this field that I'm in of meteorology. It's pretty neat. It's evolving really quickly, and things are changing. So you got to learn to go with the flow, right? Like with anything else in life. All right, so that is it for me. Just want to kind of drop that on you, just something new, different. AI's not going to tell you all that. You need a human to tell you all that. But anyway, so that's kind of how that's going. So we'll see what happens in the future. But until then, thanks for being with me. You guys have a great rest of your Thursday, Friday, and the weekend if I don't talk to you then. And as always, appreciate your support on liking and sharing this video, signing up to be Facebook fan subscriber, Patreon, YouTube subscriptions, you name it. There's all kinds of ways you can promote and help your creators, your content creators online in the social media world, since that seems the way things are going. And we're all cancelable, so we could all disappear the next day if we don't behave ourselves. So behave. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll talk to you later.